You know, IFPRI birthday parties are serious business. I didn't learn that today. I learned it the hard way 10 years ago. You know, I'm not good at remembering birthdays of friends and so on. I remember Barbara's birthday. But it was at a board meeting 10 years ago where probably a good friend told me, look, it's IFPRI's 30th anniversary year. And then I told the board, dear board members, we will celebrate this year by even more creative and harder work on research, and we will not do any events. And then there was silence. And there was more silence. And then our then board chair, after canvassing her board members, Isha Aluvaria, said, well, Joachim, this didn't convince us. We want a proper commemoration. So I mobilized former directors general for some speeches. Rajul and I put a book together, and we were sort of home safe. But as I said, IFPRI birthdays are serious business. So no jokes, hard work, and that's how we want to keep it today too. Shengeng, that you invited us is really very kind of you, and the day today, I think, was for all of us a great inspiration, a review of successful research work, and lots of very good suggestions of what to do more. I hesitate to add any recommendations. I just want to add a couple of reflections. One reflection is that it has served IFPRI very well to have its headquarters in Washington, D.C., in a very dense think tank environment. But IFPRI has also become Addis Ababa and Dakar and Beijing and more countries, more cities with these offices. I think that mix, is extremely useful. I don't want to commemorate the past, but want to reflect on three issues, and for a moment really being serious. And want to ask a couple of, or three questions. The first one is, can food policy research help change behavior of people and policy making? I ask this because of two huge problematic behavioral issues that have deep impacts on food and nutrition security. The first one relates directly to food and nutrition behavior, and the other one to behavior related to violence and aggressive behavior. On the first one, we definitely need diet change to deal with obesity. We need to address risk behavior, unhealthy behavior, and we need research into the exploitation of human behavior by actors in political and economic markets. They use deception, manipulation, trickery, creating dysfunctional behavior. We know that anecdotally. We know that markets can be misused, and the more new advertisement and supermarketization will penetrate developing countries, the more we will see that. I think we need to study that. On the violence behavior, let's not forget that more than 200 million children live in war-affected areas with serious consequences for nutrition. Let's ask what leads to marginalization, the exclusion of women, racism, attachment failure, psychology of following narrow ideologies, fundamentalism. I think we need to treat this as a new root cause of hunger and food insecurity, and need to sing with Bono and U2, there is no them, there is only us. There is no them, there is only us. I think we need to overcome problems of the them. Colleagues, this may sound far-fetched, but it is not. from a food policy research perspective. My second point is, can policy research help in designing the transition to a post-agricultural age? Agriculture, as we know it, will change fundamentally in the next 40 to 100 years. The transformation issues relate to structural change in farming, but also sectoral change between what's agriculture, industry, and services. Those categories will mean less and less in an information and communications technology age. A sustainable economic system will need to seek a new type of harmony between 10 billion people and nature. An integral approach of cities relating to resource use. This drives agriculture more into what we would call bioeconomy in the future. Actually, in the past 5 years, more than 40 countries have written themselves so-called bioeconomy strategies. Bioeconomy is understood as a knowledge-based production and utilization of biological resources and innovative biological processes and principles for sustainable use in production and services, bio-based industry. Agriculture, or at least some form of culture of agri, will still be with us in 100 years. I'm sure IFPRI will need to help many countries to conceptualize the future on that front, the big structural change. My third point is, how can global institutional frameworks for food and nutrition security research be redesigned to be fit for purpose? The research landscape. I'm not talking about the CGIAR, which is only 4% of that landscape. The international research system on food and nutrition is not delivering enough growth, sustainability, and equity. An international panel on food and nutrition and agriculture, mapped after the IPCC, but less bureaucratic, an IP food, may help us to move forward, mobilizing the global research community. Of course, with the CGIAR, the community of the academic associations which formed a big new cluster in the academies of the world, could be founding partners in this. Such an institutional innovation in IP food would improve exchange between science and policy domains and increase the transparency of assessment processes. I think IFPRI can play a role in mapping out these institutional innovation issues rather than observing, maybe doing a piece of research about it. To sum up, dear colleagues, I said research may help on behavioral change, on bio-based economy, on the institutional arrangement of shaping the new landscape of the agriculture research agenda. Dear friends of IFPRI, agenda thinking or planning is tricky. IFPRI was born or at least conceived at the age of the Beatles age. Therefore, IFPRI will not forget John Lennon's wisdom. Life is what happens while you're busy making other plans. Life is what happens while you're busy making other plans. IFPRI, I'm sure, Schengen will not just be busy making other plans, but remains prepared to respond to real-life food policy challenges. Enjoy the party. Thank you for your attention.